Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Think about that for a moment. Our thoughts shape the way we experience the world. Two people can face the same situation, yet one remains calm while the other becomes frustrated, angry, or anxious. This is where Stoicism becomes powerful. Stoicism teaches us that we may not control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond. And sometimes, without even realizing it, we develop habits that slowly take away our peace, our discipline, and our inner strength. These are anti-Stoic habits. Today, we are going to explore 7 of them. And as you listen, don't simply think about other people. Ask yourself honestly, which of these habits might be present in my own life? The first anti-Stoic habit is complaining about things outside your control. Imagine you're enjoying a beautiful day outside. The weather is perfect, food is good, and everything seems to be going well. Then suddenly, it starts raining. You can't stop the rain. You can't command the clouds to disappear. You can't change the weather. Yet some people allow that one unexpected event to completely destroy their mood. They complain about the weather, they complain about their bad luck, they complain about their ruined plans. But the rain itself isn't what creates their suffering. Their judgment about the rain does. This is one of the central ideas of Stoicism.
Learn to distinguish between what is within your control and what is not. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control other people's opinions. You cannot control every decision made by your employer. You cannot control traffic, unexpected delays, or events that have already happened. But you can control your response. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I do about it?" Instead of complaining about what you cannot change, look for what you can influence. The Stoic doesn't waste energy fighting reality. The Stoic learns how to work with reality. So the next time something happens that is outside your control, pause and ask yourself, is this actually within my control? If the answer is no, release it. Your peace is more valuable than your complaint. The second anti-Stoic habit is seeking external validation. Imagine spending weeks working on something you are genuinely proud of. You finish it. But instead of appreciating your own effort, you immediately start looking for approval. How many people liked it? What did they say? Did they compliment you? Did they notice your work? In today's world, this habit has become incredibly common. Social media has made it easy to measure our worth through numbers, followers, likes, comments, views. But these numbers are unstable. Today, people may praise you. Tomorrow, they may ignore you. And the day after that, someone may criticize you. If your self-worth depends on these changing opinions, your emotional state will constantly rise and fall. Stoicism teaches us to build our worth from within. Your character matters more than applause.
Your intentions matter more than popularity. Your actions matter more than recognition. Ask yourself, if nobody praised me for this, would I still be proud of what I did? If the answer is yes, then you are becoming less dependent on external validation. Of course, feedback can be useful. We should learn from criticism and appreciate sincere encouragement. But don't give other people the authority to decide how you feel about yourself. Your value should not be determined by the opinions of people who may change their minds tomorrow. The third anti-Stoic habit is becoming a slave to your emotions. Imagine someone says something that hurts you. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's a family member. Maybe it's a colleague. You immediately feel anger rising inside you. Before you have time to think, you respond. You say something harsh. And a few minutes later, you regret it. The emotion wasn't the problem. The lack of control over your response was. Emotions are a natural part of being human. You will feel anger. You will feel sadness. You will feel fear. You will feel jealousy.
You cannot always control the first emotion that appears, but you can control what you do next. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that we have power over our minds, not over outside events. That means there is a space between what happens and how we respond. And in that space, we have a choice. When anger appears, don't immediately act. Pause. Breathe. Observe what you're feeling. Ask yourself, will this reaction make the situation better or worse? Sometimes the strongest response is no response at all. Real strength isn't about never feeling strong emotions. Real strength is being able to experience an emotion without allowing it to control your behavior. The fourth anti-Stoic habit is the endless pursuit of pleasure and excess. Life contains many pleasures: good food, entertainment, comfort, technology, luxury. There is nothing inherently wrong with enjoying these things. The problem begins when pleasure becomes something we constantly need. Think about the excitement of buying something new. For a moment, you feel happy. Then, after some time, that excitement fades. Soon, you want something newer, something better, something more expensive. The same thing happens with entertainment. You watch one episode, then another, then another. You keep scrolling. You keep consuming.
And eventually, you may realize that you spent hours seeking pleasure without actually feeling fulfilled. The Stoics understood that temporary pleasure cannot provide permanent peace. Seneca reminded us that excessive attachment to material pleasures can actually restrict our freedom. When you constantly need more, you become dependent on more. And dependence is the opposite of freedom. The solution is not to reject every pleasure. It is moderation. Enjoy what you have, but don't become dependent on it. Before chasing your next desire, ask, is this genuinely adding value to my life? Or am I simply trying to escape discomfort? That question can change the way you live. Because happiness doesn't always come from having more. Sometimes it comes from needing less. The fifth anti-Stoic habit is living in the past. Imagine sitting somewhere peaceful, watching a beautiful sunset. The world around you is calm, but your mind is somewhere else. You're thinking about a mistake you made years ago, an opportunity you missed, a relationship that ended, something you wish you had said, something you wish you had done differently. The past can become a heavy burden when we refuse to put it down. Of course, remembering the past isn't wrong. The past can teach us. Our mistakes can make us wiser. Our failures can make us stronger. But there is a difference between learning from the past and living inside it. You cannot go back and change yesterday. You can only decide what yesterday will teach you today. Epictetus taught that people are disturbed not simply by events, but by the views they take of those events. The event happened, but the story you continue telling yourself about it can keep the pain alive. So instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Ask, what can this teach me? Instead of endlessly replaying your mistakes, extract the lesson, then move forward. The past should be a teacher, not a prison. The sixth anti-Stoic habit is obsessing over the future. This may seem strange because planning for the future is responsible, and it is. The problem isn't preparation. The problem is constant worry. Imagine you're on vacation. The sun is shining, the air is peaceful, but your mind is somewhere months ahead. What if the project fails? What if I lose money? What if something goes wrong? What if I make the wrong decision? Your body is in the present, but your mind is living inside imaginary futures. And because the future hasn't happened, your mind can create endless possibilities. One fear leads to another. One what if creates 10 more. Marcus Aurelius advised us not to let the future disturb us, because we will meet it with the same reason and strength that we have available today. You don't need to solve tomorrow today. Prepare for the future. Plan wisely. But then return to the present. If you have an exam coming, study. If you have a project, work on it. If you have a problem you can solve today, solve it.
But don't spend today's energy worrying about events that haven't happened. The future will arrive one day at a time, and when it arrives, you will deal with it using the strength you have built today. The present moment is the only place where your actions actually exist. Don't sacrifice it to imaginary futures. The seventh anti-Stoic habit is seeking perfection in everything. Imagine you're hosting a dinner. Everyone is having a wonderful time. The conversation is flowing, the food is being enjoyed, people are laughing. But instead of enjoying the evening, you're thinking about one small mistake. Maybe one dish was slightly too salty. Maybe the table wasn't perfect. Maybe something didn't go exactly according to plan. And suddenly, the entire experience feels ruined. This is what perfectionism can do. It makes us focus so intensely on what is wrong that we become blind to everything that is right. Modern life makes this even harder. We constantly see perfect homes, perfect bodies, perfect careers, perfect relationships, and perfect lifestyles online. But we rarely see imperfections behind those images. The pursuit of perfection can become an endless treadmill. You keep running, you keep improving, you keep correcting, but you never feel finished. Stoicism teaches us to pursue excellence without becoming enslaved by perfection. There is a difference between doing your best and demanding that everything be flawless. Do your best. Learn from your mistakes. Improve your weaknesses. But understand that being human means being imperfect. Sometimes you have to accept that something is good enough. Ask yourself, will this really matter a week from now? A month from now? A year from now? That simple question can put many small problems into perspective. Not every mistake deserves your anxiety. Not every imperfection deserves your attention. And not everything needs to be fixed. As we reflect on these 7 anti-Stoic habits, we begin to see a common pattern. Complaining gives power to things we cannot control. Seeking validation gives our self-worth to other people. Emotional impulsiveness gives our behavior to temporary feelings. Excessive pleasure makes us dependent on things that cannot provide lasting fulfillment. Living in the past keeps us trapped in what cannot be changed. Obsessing over the future steals the present through unnecessary worry. And perfectionism makes us unable to appreciate what is already good. Stoicism is not about becoming emotionless. It is not about becoming cold. It is not about pretending that problems don't exist. Stoicism is about developing the wisdom to understand what deserves your energy and what doesn't. It is about choosing your response. It is about accepting reality without surrendering your character. And most importantly, Stoicism is not about becoming perfect. It is about making progress. So take a moment and ask yourself honestly, which of these 7 habits appears most often in my life? Do I complain about things I cannot control? Do I depend too much on other people's approval? Do my emotions control my decisions? Am I constantly chasing the next pleasure? Am I still living inside my past? Am I worrying about a future that hasn't arrived? Or am I demanding perfection from myself and everyone around me? You don't need to change everything overnight. Choose one habit, observe it, understand it, and slowly begin to replace it with a better response. Because every time you choose patience instead of anger, acceptance instead of complaint, discipline instead of excess, and action instead of worry, you become a little stronger. The Stoic path is not about controlling the entire world. It is about mastering the small world within you. Your thoughts, your choices, your reactions, your character. And perhaps that is where true freedom begins. Not when life becomes perfect, but when you become strong enough to remain peaceful, even when life isn't. So remember, control what you can, accept what you cannot, learn from the past, prepare for the future, but live in the present. And above all, protect the quality of your thoughts. Because as Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the quality of your life is deeply connected.
Because, as Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the quality of your life is deeply connected to the quality of the mind that experiences it.